and the poem The Eagle by Alfred Tennyson. First of all, I would like to talk about the title The Eagle. Guys, what do you think about the title The Eagle? I know, guys, you can't talk now, so I will represent you. The eagle, the bird eagle, we firstly we think it is a bird. Yes, it is a bird, and it is a carnivorous animal, carnivorous bird, and it is an independent bird. It doesn't depend on other animals. It depends on each. It is depend on itself. In the when we see the life cycle of the bird eagle, we can came across that the bird eagle has severely restructure the body, uh, restructure his body to enrich his life cycle. The eagles are generally larger and more powerful than hawks, and may resemble a vulture in build and flight characteristics. But they have a fully feathered head and strong feet equipped with great curved talons. Most species subsist mainly on live prey, which they generally capture on the ground. And now I have talked a lot about lot about the eagle. Now let's come into the poem. The poem mainly categorized under the main theme nature. As you know, it is written by Alfred Tennyson. And now let's see about Alfred Tennyson. Alfred Tennyson was born on 6th of August 1809 at Somersby in England. He was the fourth of 12 children of George and Elizabeth. Tennyson is one of the most outstanding poet among Victorian poets. In 1827, Tennyson went to Trinity College, Cambridge, and there they had published poems. At Cambridge, Tennyson met Arthur Hallam and William Henry Brookfield, who became his closest friends. His first publication was a collection of poems entitled His Boyish Rhymes and Those of His Elder Brother Charles, written by two brothers and published in 1827. The Eagle. It is written by Alfred Tennyson, as you know already. Now let's get into the poem. Um, he claps a crack with crooked hands, close to the sun in lonely lands. Ringed with the azure word he stands. The wrinkles sea beneath him crawls. He watches from his mountain walls, and like a thunderbolt he falls. I know, guys. We have studied it earlier, but I wanted to remind you. That's why I'm reminding you some new words which is present in this poem. Clamps. Clamps mean a grasp or hold tightly with hands, and crack means a mountain or rock face, and crooked means a curved bend. And azure mean a bright blue color of the we can say it as a color of the bright blue sky. Wrinkled mean covered with lines, having lines. We can say it as a wrinkle or a skin of an older person and all those things. Crawls mean creeps, and thunderbolt mean a crash of thunder or flash of lightning with a simultaneous crash of thunder. Tennyson also used some of the literary techniques such as alliteration, personification, and imagery. In alliteration, the position of the eagle. Similarly, it creates the pureness of the eagle by suggesting the way he crabs onto the mountain cliff. Further, the alliteration creates a specific melody and personification. Personification means the poet humanizing an object. And here also Tennyson personified the bird eagle. He claps the crack with crooked hand, and he stands This personification gives the idea that the eagle seems much more important than just an ordinary or a simple bird. Like bird eagle is a special bird and imagery. Here, there are different type of imagery are present, but in this poem, Tennyson has used two imagery. That is, one is visual imagery and another one is auditory imagery. In visual imagery, the word azure literally means a bright blue. The poet has creates visual images of this eagle sitting on a top of mountains high above all, and the bright blue sky around him and the blazing sun. Tennyson was able to create a very impressive and colorful visual image in the reader's mind. And auditory imagery. In this poem, Tennyson has used the auditory images like a thunderbolt. He found the word thunderbolt creates an auditory imagery. Like we can sense that, right? We can sense that. So he uses the word thunderbolt and creates an auditory imagery. And also, here are some points that will work on the poem. The eagle. The eagle is a rare kind of bird, cannot be sighted easily. Just think, in our daily life, can we see eagle as we can see crow or other animals? No, definitely no. We can't see a eagle like a normal creature. Right? It's a special creature and it is a rare creature which is found in the mountain plains and all other areas. This poem is one of the shortest poem of Alfred Lord Tennyson, which has only two stanzas with three lines in each. The first three stanzas create the picture of a motionless eagle. The poet focuses on an eagle lives alone in a top of mountain. He's he is he is high up in the air so that no any animals or human can reach him. He is close to the sun. The phrase is close to the sun. The wrinkled sea beneath him crawls. He watches from his mountain walls. Effectively suggests that he is high up in the air where nobody can reach him. The phrase "he claps the crack with crooked hands" suggests that he is holding on with his hand just as a human. In a way, the eagle symbolizes men who have power and authority. The phrase "in lonely lands" he can suggest the eagle lonely life, and as he lives high up in the air, which ultimately suggests the isolation and lonely lives of a famous or a powerful people. Can we see the powerful people or famous people in as we can see the ordinary peoples? Definitely no. We can't see the normal famous people going on roads like an ordinary people. Like that, eagle is also a famous or a powerful bird, which always lives in a high place. The eagle seems to be proud to be in the top of all, which gives him the controlling power. And from the now from this point from now fr- from the beginning of the presentation, now we see the Now we see the bird against the sky at a superior height. The phrase lonely land seems to suggest the eagle's domination of the sky. The prominent, the prominent announce, the prominent assonance of the or sound further accentuate the sense of loneliness and distance. The alliteration of ill sounds contributes to the musical quality of the line. Ringed with azure world, he stands. The word azure world refers to the sky of the color of ocean blue. The bird is circled or ringed by the blue sky. The passive action of stands, which rhymes with hands and lands, creates an effect of stillness or inertness. This is like a still shot in cinema. The caesura or the comma before he further heighten this stillness. The wrinkles see beneath him clothes. The waves of the sea look like wrinkles of a cloth or a skin from that great height. As I mentioned above, the word wrinkles represent the clothes or skin from that great height. The rolling of the wave is diminished to crawling. The word crawls also reminds us about the reptiles who are eaten by eagles. In addition, the word wrinkled remind us of an old person while crawling, remind us of a baby. Taken together, we can also take it as a life cycle of human or a law of nature. We can take it as in that way also. He watches from his mountain walls. It is not clear what he watches from that great height. The eagle is a bird with a sharp vision. He may be watching some prey. Maybe he can watch from that great fish. He can also watch a fish from that great height. And the bird also build up some tension as it prepare for him for action. The bird the eagle he watches from his mountain wall. These words also build up some tension, like we get some curiosity of what's happening there and what is going on there. We get a curiosity, and we can also take it as the bird is prepares him for an action. The word mountain wall suggests the sharp incline of the rock and its inaccessibility. And like a thunderbolt, he falls. Finally, the eagle dives off the cliff and sweeps downward in a straight line in a graceful movement. It is an effortless action which depends on the gravitational acceleration. We can say, like, the bird eagle doesn't give any effort for the action because of the gravitational acceleration. He can easily um, he can easily do that motion. The word thunderbolt suggests the speed which a thunderbolt strikes and thus the sweetness of the eagle. Like Thor is a hammer wielding god associated with thunder, lightning, and storms in Norse mythology. Like that, the bird eagle also it's also related to the god Thor. The bird may be diving at its prey, which has very little chance of escape, given the lightning speed at which it descends on him. From the things I have told you, we can get an idea that we can get an idea of characteristics of eagle. What can we say? The eagle is a powerful bird, and it is an inaccessibility. It is a majesty and his authority, isolation, sweetness. We can tell that, we can tell all these things in one bird, and and the as I mentioned above, the Tennyson has portrayed the portrayed the power of nature by leading the poem by eagle. Thank you guys for listening me. Have a good day.
Good evening, all of you. Today I'm going to present the drama The Bear by Anton Chekhov. Let's look at the poet. Danton Chekhov is an Russian playwright, and he wrote many. He is considered to be one of the greatest writers of all time. Uh, his career as a playwright produced for classic, and his best sort of stories are very interesting. In the play, the bear revolves around the two protagonists, Popova and Grigory Stefanovich Smirnov. Popova is a widow, um, and her husband died 7 months ago, but she still mourning. She has decided to cut off herself from the outside world. She has ordered her servant Luca not to allow anybody to see her. Luca is an old and faithful servant of Pupua, and he dislikes the mourning of condition of his mistress. He advises that she should not shut herself in the four walls. He says, "It isn't right, madam. You are just destroying yourself." It emphasizes the faithfulness of Luca. Uh, he says he says to Pupua to change her decision of mourning throughout her life. Um, she declare her determination not to forget her husband till she breathes her last. She says, "I shall never go out. Why should I? My life is already at it." Again, Luca forces her to rejoin her life. Um, uh, but Pupua ultimately says, "I shall be true till death and show him how I can love." Luca quotes that his own example and tells her that his wife has also died. He mourned for a month, and that was enough for her. Um, he could not grieve for her throughout his life. He advises her to visit her neighborhood and should meet other people and meet the young army officers, as she is still young. Can She can attract many young people, but Pupua does not accept any advice. After some time, Simino enters Pupua's house. Simino, in this play, Simino carries the character of very aggressive manner. He is a landowner who has lent 1,200 rubles to Mr. Nicoli Stefano Nicoli, uh, who is the Pupua's late husband. Before he dies, he demands debt be paid once because creditors are searching for him. Pupua tell me that at that moment she has no money as her steward is out of the city. She openly tells the reason, um, but Simone doesn't accept that reason. Um, she tells him that when her steward comes, I'm surely pay your money. But Simone insists and uh, makes fun of. She makes the Pupua's mourning as fun. He refuses to leave her house until she pay money. Both Pupua and Simino were were stubborn, and Pupua tells him that cannot pay money as she is a state of mind. Um, but Simino wants money at that same time. Pupua request many times request give him not to disturb her peace. Pupua calls him coarse bear. Simino criticizes all the women and all the women are and calls them insincere, cruel, and um, etc. Pupua calls men um, calls men cruel and faithless. She gives an example from her own life because her late husband who died. She found many love letters from her husband desk, um, and um, Pupua's late husband illegal has Pupua's late husband has illegal relations with many women. Um, Simona behaves rudely, and she tells him that decent people do not behave with women like that. Um, Pupua and Silvano angrily fight with each other. Pupua changes Simino to a gunfight, uh, but Pupua doesn't know how to handle the pistols. Um, but he, but she brings out her husband's pistols, and but she doesn't know how to use and how to shoot. Simona teaches her how to fire with the pistols. Um, During this time, when learning how to fire, Simona falls in love with Pupua. He needs uh, before her and says, I love you. I never loved before. I refused 12 women. Nine have refused me, but I never loved one of them as I love you. He also says, I'm in love like a student. I've been on my knees. I want to fall in love with you. This emphasizes how much Simino loved Pupua, and Pupua first of all Pupua refuses him, but when he describes his property and wealth, she accept the proposal of marriage. When the servants of Pupua arrive to beat Simeno, they are amused and surprised to see that Pupua and Simeno are embarrassing each other. This shows the main theme of this drama: how humans change in time to time, and this play can come the dramatic end. In the end of the drama, Pupua orders Luca tell them in stables that Toby isn't to have any odds at all today. This phrase indicate that Pupua has completely forgotten her late husband, and she tells and um, and she has accepted Simino as her husband. Um, let's look at the characters of this play. First of all, we look at Simino. Simino is a middle-aged retired art literary man of strong build. He's a man of Um, he is mentioned as a man of decent income and respectable social status. He has been referred to as a bear. Uh, this is because of his great physical strength. Example, he press on the back of the chair and breaks the chair. He is referred to belong indecent and aggressive behavior. Throughout his actions, um, actions, and he fall in love with Pupua. Um, um, love basic emotions of humans is love. So they so Simino runs into economic trouble and needs money desperately. He calls on all her debtors to recover his own money, but none of them pays. So Simino gets angry, um, and but Pupua refuses. She Simino says that I love you, Pupua. Pupua refused his proposal, but Pupua through Simino, we can say that he is uh, deep in love with Pupua, and he happens to like her, and um, he proposes Pupua to in a very funny way, because he used the words "I love you," "I never loved before." Um, he he uses the practical thing of his life. Pupua is, let's we look at the Pupua's characters. Pupua is a young and romantic and youthful, sentimental lady under one of her unrealistic romantic period. She decides to remain faithful, state of mourning, um, to her unfaithful husband that died 7 months ago. Um, she looks at the photograph of her husband's, and she says that my love will die with me when his poor heart will cease to beat. And Luca Luca convinces many times, but she thinks that uh, destroy mountering is the best way to um solve the problem. Um, she she won't. She has a confident idea to show her realistic manners throughout these phrases. My life is already at end. He's in his grave. I have buried myself between flowers. We both are dead. Um, and um, when Luca says that you are young and beautiful, um, she uh, she ultimately refuses the uh, advice of Luca, uh, and 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 she wishes to prove her unfaithful husband, and that she is faithful to him after his death. Um, And let's we look at the past paper questions. What is your impression of Simino in the play? The Bear, discuss with detailed reference to the play. Uh, Simino is a middle-aged man. He is referred as a bear in this play because his qualities are very strong examples to write the answers. He shows he breaks furniture. It's breaks and creaks throughout the line. We know that he breaks the furniture, and he is very impolite and rude. Manner. He comes into a lady's drawing room without permission. Without permission, a man is coming. Um, it is not. It is not a decent manner. And he expressed his temper by saying all women are great or little and insincere. uh, he exhibits his anger by, why are you always so angry? I meet a man on the road and he asks me throughout these lines. He demanding for money and demanding and authoritative power has he has the authoritative power because he is in the Pupua's house, but he orders Luca to bring water and vodka. Um, Appearance is not respectable as Lando. Dust in this poem, we can also Simino is consist as one of the uh, inconsistent in his character and his actions. Although he enters the ladies' room without permission, he is decent enough to introduce himself to Pupua in a decent manner. Has double stance, although he has down um, towards the lady, he expresses his attraction and falls in love with her. Uh, and it is capable of showing and expressing love when he finds the sort he understands, feels the need of love and physical attachment. He takes advantage of the current situation and proposes to Pupua. Um, it is really sarcastic. Thank you for hearing. Thank you.
Good evening to you all. Today I'm going to speak about the poem Farewell to Banner Secondary by A. Houseman. Uh, in this poem, A. Houseman mentioned a man who done a murder uh, who, and he's going to leave his village because he done that murder, and if he stayed in that village, he will be get punishment. So he is going to leave that village. Um, in this poem, the the narrator narrates this poem in a way that the murderer is telling farewell to his surroundings, mother, and his friend. Let's analyze this poem stanza by stanza. Farewell to Banner Secondary, farewell to Seven Show, farewell to Seven Show. Then please do last at me, for I come home no more. Um, Here, in the first stanza, in the first two lines of the first stanza, the narrator tells farewell to the natural surroundings which are related to his work, that barn, stack, and tree. And he also tell farewell to the British longest river Seven Shore. Uh, Here from this we can understand that the narrator, how the narrator love those places and those natural things related to the nature. Uh, he loved those things very well, so he's telling farewell to those things first. And in the last two lines of the first stanza, the narrator told that Terence looked your last at me, for I come home no more. Here, the narrator mentioned a name Terence. Here, the Terence may be the listener or the friend of the narrator, and he tell farewell to his friend that look your last at me, for I come home no more. From this, we can understand that he is going to leave that village and he will not came there anymore. So he is telling his friend to see him last. And in the second stanza, the sun burns on the half moon hill. By now the blood is dried, and more is among the hail I still, and my knife is in his side. Here, the diction sunburns indicates us that the murder was held in a daytime, and the phrase half moon hill indicates that uh, when the murder was held, that um, when the murder was held. Here, the narrator told that half moon hill. So, from this, we can understand that narrator killed his brother when mourning the village, mourning the field for harvesting. Um, and here the narrator told that, and here the diction blood indicates tragedy that done by the murderer. That the narrator told that by now the blood is dried. From this also we can understand that it is the murder was held in a daytime and it was held a few minutes or few hours ago, so that the blood was dried and the blood is still there.